These Koopas are cruel at making us race in this weather. There's a literal blizzard happening and they want us to race? Is this even legal? I should consult my law books. Wait, I'm a meteorologist, not a lawyer. I can't tell you about the laws in this kingdom, but I can tell you about the weather. I'm going to talk about blizzards we see generally in video games, specifically focusing on a video game that got me back into playing them during my college years. Super Mario Odyssey. We only see a blizzard occur a few times throughout the game. We see it during the game's story when we first arrive at the Snow Kingdom. I'll never forget arriving here for the first time after conquering the story of New Dog City. I was blown away at the aesthetic of this place. The snow was whirling and it was so dark I felt like I had trouble seeing. It somehow sets the mood perfectly. The second time we see this is during a Koopa race, only available once we've completed the story of both the Snow Kingdom area and after we save Princess Peach. The only way we can see this weather condition after beating the story is to race. Okay, seriously, who is allowing this? You should not be traveling outside of these conditions! I have some serious questions about this, Koopas. Sorry, let me not get distracted here. I actually don't recall if this storm is referred to as a blizzard by the locals, but I think it might be. At minimum, the internet guides called this a blizzard, so that's what we're running with today. I honestly can't recall the last time I saw a snowstorm being referred to as a blizzard in a game before this one. I cannot help but wonder why this is. Do I truly play so few types of video games? Possibly, I mostly stick to Nintendo franchises, after all, and those games don't tend to have blizzards in them. Perhaps this is due to the overuse of the word blizzard in real life, though? In the real world, I often hear people describe a severe snowstorm as a blizzard, yet those same severe snowstorms may not even be blizzards to begin with. Do video games understand the difference between a heavy snowstorm and a blizzard? If they do, then what is that difference? Why do we say this particular storm is a blizzard and not a snowstorm? Well, you know what? We're here, let's figure this out together. Come along with me. What constitutes a snowstorm being a blizzard versus a normal snowstorm? For a snowstorm to be considered a blizzard, there's relatively few criteria we actually have to meet. The hard part is meeting said criteria. The National Weather Service defines a blizzard as a storm that contains large amounts of snow or blowing snow with wind speeds of at least 35 miles per hour and visibilities of less than a quarter mile for at least 3 hours. It's mostly dependent on the winds. What do I mean by that? Well, to better understand this, let's quickly go through a real-world example. So going back a few years, and by a few years I mean several years, between March 14th to March 15th, 2017, there was a winter storm that occurred over the northeastern United States. This is a map of the total amounts of snowfall reported for the duration of this event created by the National Weather Service's office in Burlington, Vermont. Now, this storm is technically considered a blizzard, aptly named the Pi Day Blizzard, due to there being blizzard conditions in northern New Jersey, the lower Hudson River Valley of New York State, and southern Connecticut, which I've highlighted on the map for you. To make sure I was doing my due diligence, I went to the Iowa State Mesonet website, which just so happens to have an archive of every weather watch and warning issued by the National Weather Service forecast offices throughout the United States starting back in 1986. I'm not kidding, these people are awesome. If you've never been to the Iowa State Mesonet website and want some cool weather data, go to them. They're amazing. So these areas were underneath a blizzard warning at some point during this event. What exactly is a blizzard warning, you may be asking? Fear not, it's not complicated. This is issued by the National Weather Service Forecast Office if the following conditions are either occurring or are expected within the 12 to 18 hours following the time the warning is issued. There must be snow and or blowing snow reducing visibility to a quarter of a mile or less for 3 hours or longer, and sustained wind of 35 miles per hour or greater, or frequent gusts up to 35 miles per hour or greater, are expected. Given that a blizzard warning was issued at these locations, we know that these areas experience significantly reduced visibility for 3 hours or more, which is the criteria for a storm to be considered a blizzard, or we're going to. And by the way, many of them did. Can confirm, I did go back and look. Going back to the Snow Kingdom, we definitely see reduced visibility in this place. It's really hard for Mario, and us as the player, to even see a couple feet in front of us. We can see a little, but not much. This would definitely be considered limited visibility, most likely about a quarter of a mile or less, given that we can barely see anything that's directly in front of us. The darkness of the night is not helping us either, but given the amount of snow blowing around, I'd argue our visibility is reduced due to that more so than it being nighttime. While I can't tell you how fast the wind is blowing, we can take a bit of a guess here. For the wind to be able to move a person, if the person is around 100 pounds, or 45 kilograms, wind speeds of 40 to 45 miles per hour, or 64 to 72 kilometers per hour, could move a person. Well, I don't get the sense Mario weighs 100 pounds. He probably weighs more, if we're being honest with ourselves. We do know that he doesn't move without us touching the controller. Well, unless we have Joy-Con drift. Shh, minor details, it's fine. I suspect the wind is still strong enough to meet this criteria, given the lack of visibility. While we could argue this is fog, yeah, I don't think so. This would be considered freezing fog if it were fog, and that's not the most common type of fog, even during cold weather. Temperatures need to be around negative 29 degrees Celsius or negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit for freezing fog to even form. While it's cold in the Snow Kingdom, I don't think it's quite that cold. It's rather rare that we get freezing fog, especially if the wind is moving this much. I'm going to say that we are certainly seeing blizzard conditions here. Yet, you may have noticed that, when I was talking about blizzards, that I neglected to mention the snowfall amounts in the Snow Kingdom and during the March 2017 blizzard. Let's go back to the snowfall map of the 2017 blizzard real quick. There were places that had greater snowfall than the areas that had blizzard warnings. You may be wondering why I didn't talk about those areas when discussing what makes a blizzard. Was this not also a part of the storm and a part of the blizzard? Does snowfall matter when it comes to blizzards? Well, here's a fun fact about blizzards for you. There doesn't need to be a ton of snow that falls for a snowstorm to be considered a blizzard. That probably sounds so wrong to many of you, but let me explain. I'll point us specifically to Otsego County, located in central New York, which got over 36 inches, or 3 feet, of snow. Okay, great, let's look at the weather watches and warnings for this particular time. Was there a blizzard warning issued for this county? I did my due diligence. I went back in time and looked at the watches and warnings for the days of this event. What do you think I saw when I looked back at this set of dates? I'll let you think about it for a moment. Okay, you good? Alright, here's what I saw for Otsego County. I saw a winter storm watch and a winter storm warning. That's it. No mention of a blizzard to be found. You might be wondering, why did this place receive a winter storm warning but not a blizzard warning? Here's why. A winter storm warning is issued when a significant combination of hazardous winter weather is occurring or is imminent. This can be defined as a combination of the following factors. Number 1, 5 inches or more of snow or sleet within a 12-hour period, or 7 inches or more of snow and sleet within a 24-hour period. Number 2, enough ice accumulation to cause damage to trees or power lines. Number 3, a life-threatening or damaging combination of snow or ice accumulation with wind. While a winter storm warning is absolutely nothing to sneeze at, it's decidedly not a blizzard. They don't have the reduced visibility or the wind we see in a blizzard. So while the Pi Day blizzard is considered to be a blizzard for some parts of the country, for other parts it wasn't a blizzard at all. This entire storm, however, is labeled a blizzard even though not all areas that had it got blizzard conditions. We do this for simplicity's sake, honestly. Imagine being like, hey, you got a winter storm, but it was only a blizzard at location X, Y, and Z. Yeah, the public wouldn't take that very well, so we generalize, even though we probably shouldn't. Going back to the Snow Kingdom, well, that makes my life a lot easier, because it doesn't matter how much snow falls, since that has nothing to do with whether or not a storm is deemed a blizzard. Well, I don't have to try and calculate how much snow fell during these times in the game. Thank goodness, because that's a lot of math I'd rather not do right now. So, wait, if the common misconception is that we need certain snowfall amounts for a blizzard to be, well, a blizzard, does that mean that the developers understand weather correctly? Could it be? After doing this for so many videos, could it truly be that the game developers got the concept of a blizzard right? I think they did! It's a miracle! It's a blizzard! If you've watched any video on this channel where I've analyzed weather condition, you know I love telling you how video games don't have accurate weather. But for once, I am here to tell you that Super Mario Odyssey, of all video games, got a weather condition correct. Thanks, Nintendo. Miracles do happen. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe. I have more coming. I will see you all in the next one. Have a good rest of your day.